Thanks for hopping over. Here is a little video to show you how to get the most out of Choralia. Here I am at the link that takes you to the main site. If you are looking for your music, you can see my big mouse pointer right here. You can see that the soprano parts are all up at the top here for the Verdi Requiem. If you scroll down, you will find the Agnus Dei pretty close to the bottom. You can see how far it is through your book of music and find it that way almost. And then over to the right here, you'll see three different boxes that are links. This one takes you to a player that has a metronome clicking away. So if you like the idea of having a click while you go along, you might choose that one. If you want to get rid of the click, you choose the next one over, which has your voice balanced above all the rest of the voices. The one on the right isn't quite as useful for sectional type work. That's the one where all the voices are equal, so your personal voice part is not sticking out more than the others. So I recommend that you choose either the middle one, or if you like the metronome, you can choose the one on the left. Now, if you're an alto, a tenor, or a bass, here's the whole section of alto, and you have to scroll down until you find the Agnus Dei, and then go over and click that link to open another page. Here's the tenor version, and I'm going to go all the way down to the bass one. Right at the bottom of the page there, 4 links up, over to the right if you're a bass, and here are the versions. I'm going to pick the one in the middle without the metronome because I find it a little bit annoying, especially in a piece like this where I know what the tempo is from listening to the soloists for a little while. Clicking in. It opens, notice, automatically in most browsers. It will open in another page. So you can always click back to the page you came from if you want to get another one. And when you close this, it won't get rid of this page as well. So you can always go back to the menu. But here we are on the new tab. And here's your player. Notice there are a bunch of advertisements around. It seems that Choralia has decided I am interested in refrigerators. I don't remember mentioning refrigerators, but Big Brother is watching. Here we are in the player. Ignore all those ads around. You can see if I scroll down, there's some more stuff down below. But right here in the middle of the page is your player controls. Up at the top, this is like a normal media player. You see on the left there is a little triangle. That's your play button, like you might expect from almost any device. That symbol's been used for a long time. I have the sound turned off, so I'm going to click play, and now you can see it turns into a pause button. If I want to pause the music, I can click pause. Now, you can see where you are in the music with the little timers right there. I'm 4 seconds into 3 minutes and 32 seconds of the Agnus Dei. And over here, this black line, see the little dot that pops up when I float over it? Boom, there it is. I can drag that dot to wherever I want. So like I said, like I'm going to say in the other video, if you scroll up to 151, you'll be right at the beginning of measure 40 where the harmony parts start for the first time with the choir. So there you go. Over here, you can control volume, although you can also just control volume on your phone or computer or however you're viewing this. And then there are some options to download the track. I've never actually done that myself. Let's keep looking. So that's the player up at the top. Next line down, see that teal bar? This is how you can control listening to a small portion of the piece. Let's say I want to work on that first section where we sing in harmony. I would go to 151, and I can't remember where it ends. You'd have to scrub through and listen and find out, but I think it might just be 208 or somewhere around there. I'm guessing. I didn't write that down for this script. So there I've got it controlled in. Now, if I press play again, it's just going to jump me into that little section right there. No matter where I try to click on the big black bar up here, it's jumping me into that section. I can go around in that section, but I'm stuck there. See? So I can take that and it'll repeat it over and over again. When that gets to the end of this bar, it'll jump right back to the beginning and back and forth and over and over again. In fact, if I'm having trouble with a single measure, I can put these right next to each other and just bounce it back and forth. If I'm annoyed about the loop playing, you can turn that off. And in fact, if I don't want to have to drag these all the way back out to listen to the full song, I can turn off on the left-hand side here the section playing. Now, I can jump to anywhere in the piece and it'll play for me. If I turn that section back on, it jumps me into the section. If I turn the looping back on, whenever it gets to the end of that, boop, it hops right back over and over again until I'm done. So I'm going to turn those two things off, or another solution would be just open the whole thing out so that it's an entire piece, and talk to you about the next bar down. This one's self-explanatory, right? The tortoise on the left, he's the slower speed. The hare on the right, he's the faster speed. If you haven't heard that parable, I'll read it to you another time. You can take this middle bar and keep it at 100%, which is the tempo they think Verdi wants. Or you can practice it faster to challenge yourself or save time. If it's a really slow piece, you might want to do that. Or you can slow it down, which is one of the really great things. In sectionals, sometimes your section leader will slow a difficult part down. You can do that right here. You can take it way too slow, down to 50% of the speed, or all the way up to 150%. I'm going to put it back on 100% here. If you don't do that, it won't be. Now I'm scrolling down to the next part. See these? The top speaker symbol is you. So if you want to hear just your voice part, drag that over to the right. Remember, if you clicked on the far right-hand one where they're all balanced parts, that doesn't actually help you. That's just going to turn all the voice parts up equally and turn the orchestra down. In this particular one, the middle or the first one with the metronome, you can drag all the way over here. Now all I can hear is the bass part. I'm not going to even hear the orchestra or anything, so it's silent for the beginning of the Agnus Dei when the soloists are singing. And you only hear the bass when they first come in. Or you can leave it balanced, or you can move it over to the right, where now I don't hear the bass part at all. I just hear everything else, and I'm really challenging myself. So for sectional, you want to drag this over somewhat to the right so you can still hear quietly a little bit of the context in the orchestra, know where to get your note, know when you're about to come in. If you go all the way to 100%, you'll just hear your part, but it'll surprise you because you won't hear the orchestra and the soloists playing the bars before. All right, jumping that back to the middle. And now down here at the bottom, something you probably don't want to deal with, but I'll let you know how it works. That bottom bar, you can scroll it to the right and to the left, and you can control the balance of your part in one speaker versus another. If you have headphones, or if you have stereo speakers, two speakers set apart from each other to the left and the right, you can put your voice in the right-hand speaker, and the other voice is not at all. And they'll only be in the left-hand speaker, or vice versa. You can move your voice from the right to the left-hand speaker. That's something you might play around with if you want to, but I think the most useful things here are the speed, the tortoise and hare, and the ability to control the amount of your voice compared to the amount of other voices in here. Negative 100, 100%, compared to the balance with everything else. And of course you have the looping and doing a small section, and up here in the player, you can stop the music, you can jump around to different spots, you can do that again. So I hope you find that useful. That is the Choralia website and how to use it. Cyberbase has some similar tools. If you look around on the Cyberbase page, you probably, if you use Cyberbase, you already know how those go. Right, go ahead and jump back to the other video. This one is over, and we will get back to rehearsing.